Am I wearing too many buttons for y'all? Oh, Lord. I'm glad you brought that up. My name is Clay Mertes. I am direct to Robbie Kraft. I am the Director of Sales at the Alliance Corporate Office. Hey, did that help or maybe encourage some of y'all to buy some more leads? All right, good. Hey, whoa. It does not happen that easy. I'm not that cheap, all right? What y'all got to do is you got to get over to the lead performance team. You got to get you a subscription. Each subscription we get, buttons coming off, all right? No, but for real, all the people you're going to hear from today are bad to the bone closers who do get leads. Because what you're going to hear today is this is the closers panel. This is an interview with 3 of the top salespeople at the Alliance and how they ink deals, how they get checks in the home, and how they avoid objections. So we're going to interview these 3 closers. And the first closer we have has put up some serious premium. Not only is he a district manager, but he has put up over 70,000 3 consecutive months with his best month ever at 78,000. Please give it up for Brian Rojas. Your next closer is also bad to the bone. And she's an agency manager. She has put up in her best month ever, 46,000 in issue paid premium, baby. Give it up for Michelle Jones. And hailing all the way from Chicago, Illinois, our national manager with his best month ever, 37 racks, baby. Give it up for Mike Morisi. My barber got me looking proper every single time. Fresh pig getting fitted on that top grade. Thank you for joining us today, closers. Please take a seat. Now, everybody in the audience, this is your opportunity to copy and steal everything. Here at the Alliance, we say case, copy and steal everything. And so as a future cold-blooded closer, this is your opportunity to learn from the best, to steal some of their secrets. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be walking through the entire process of an appointment, how these closers approach that appointment in order to get checks. So we're going to jump into it hot, starting with Mike Morisi. Mike, can you talk to the crowd a little bit about what the day of an appointment looks like for you and how you approach that day as you're running?
Absolutely. Great morning, guys. Mike Mertes out of Chicago. Honored to be here. The day actually starts the night before. You need to be prepared the night before because that next morning has to be as smooth as possible. We all have our own morning routines, right? So, I've got my reading that I start every single morning, 30 minutes every single day. My audio, 30 minutes every single day. But for being in the field, you have a full tank of gas. I'm making sure that the tank is full the night before. And in the morning, when I'm running out the door, I'm definitely making sure, everything has been charged up, like my laptop, my phone. I've got all my papers that I need inside the appointment. Do I have a fresh legal pad so I can show quotes and go over numbers with the client, write stuff down? But I'm making sure the night before, I've got everything set. So that next morning, it's just it's takeoff time. Let's go.
Love that. Would y'all add anything to that before the appointment, stuff you do to make sure you're ready to rock? Either one. If you got something to add.
If he's preparing the night before, I think I keep my my schedule right in my car. So as I'm going through the day, if that person is a no-show or we sold it, it's not doing it at the end. I just have my notes right there already, so that way I can do my numbers later on during the week.
Beautiful. Michelle, something I notice you do, because you put me in the groups, is before maybe one of your agents is out in the field, you're setting up hunt groups and text groups. Can you talk about that process for your agents of setting up those people to call from the home?
Absolutely. So, guys, everybody, when you're running your first set of appointments, you are nervous. And we know you are nervous, and we want you to know that you're not alone. you're not alone. You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. So we have a team, and like, I don't want to brag, but our team out in Tampa is just crazy, okay? And then we looped in Clay because he's awesome, Dirty Mertes, and it's like, we set you up in a position to be successful. So what we do is we'll put that new person, I send them everybody's contact. It's like 7 different people. I send that previous, and then I send a group text in that message, so it's right at the top. And I'll say, hey guys, Shelby's going out there. It's her first time today. Give my girl a round of applause. She got back-to-back appointments. If I'm not available, make sure you help. Shelby, put your green sheets in here. These guys could take care of you.
So that's a big piece of preparation, is making sure you have people to call from in the home. You have a hunt group. You got people to call. And on top of that, and I know y'all can't say this, but none of y'all are direct to me, use your manager, use your upline, use the people you've got. Their job is to help you ink deals. If you're not calling people in the home, sorry, I'm getting excited. If you're not calling people in the home, for the love of God, you're missing checks. Seriously, you're just missing checks because they will help you ink it in the home. Sorry, I got a little bit too crazy there, but I'm passionate about it. Yeah. All right, let's keep it cooking. Let's keep it cooking, Rojas. Rojas, what's like a sneaky efficiency tip? Like, you're rolling out there and you've got XYZ set up. What's an efficiency tip that you would recommend day of or day before the appointment?
Yeah, so number one is like, Big Mike taught me this, right? He says it like this: proper preparation prevents poor performance. Let me translate. Proper preparation prevents poor performance, okay? And so, like, the day of, kind of like what Mike was talking about, like, you want no room for just slacking. You know, you want to be busy. So, like, one of the things that Mike was really good at was teaching us was, like, fill up your schedule, no matter what it takes. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not one that likes to just rely on door knocks. You know what I'm saying? I know there's people that kill with door knocks. I'm telling you, like, I just rather have a full schedule and know where I'm going. Yeah. Then I put them on my Google Maps or whatever you guys use, so I know exactly how my route's gonna look that I prior, so I can envision it. You know what I'm saying? And then the day of, you definitely, do we have any Dominicans in the house? Yeah, we do? Okay, so the morning of, you definitely gotta get you some mango and some café con leche. So that's efficiency.
How do you spell that?
Mango. So, but yeah, having a full schedule will, like, activity, I'm telling you, heals the multitude of errors. That's it. If you work the numbers, I'm telling you, like, no matter how bad you are, the numbers will play out. So.
Beautiful. Let's stay with you, Brian. Talk to me about when you arrive at your appointment or on your run day, what are the materials, what are the things that you always have with you?
Such a good question. So this is what I carry, guys. So obviously I'm not dressed like this, right? I'm super casual, like super low-key, like I got some slip-ons. And depending where I'm running, I'm not wearing socks, or okay. I am wearing socks.
Break that down. What's your shirt look like? What do your pants look like? So like blue jeans, a nice, just like a polo shirt, a nice little, you know, we're in Florida, so it's hot over there. So if I'm wearing a button-up, it's gonna be kind of like a short sleeve button-up or just a normal polo, right? And this is what I'm bringing into the home. So I got my ATM, right? You see how this doesn't have the Alliance training manual thing? So my wife's a painter, right? By the way, shout out, baby, you're here. Right. So the reason I put this up is it gives me room for conversation. Yeah. So like they see this, I'm like, oh, what is that? Like, oh, my wife, here, let me show you a picture of my wife. So I use that as an icebreaker. The next thing that I have is my iPad inside of the ATM, right? And then I usually have a lead in there as well. So this is what I use in a home. I can submit apps to this in a home. I can do anything here. See what I'm saying? So this is what I bring right here. Beautiful. Anything y'all want to add?
Green sheets, sticky notes, I am your policy, legacy safeguard. Like, you just put all of that in there. Have paper applications. If we live kind of in nowhere land sometimes, there's no service, you're not gonna get that e-app. Do a paper app, they work real good. You know, just prepare yourself for the worst situation so you don't panic. And then also, we need to do a good job, like as leaders, for our agents to have those stuff too, because they will for sure panic. And so we just don't want to leave them, you know, just hanging stranded. So make sure that they have that stuff as well.
One other thing I want to add too is in your car, some other things to have when you're going out in the field. Stickies, so the little delivery notes. If you don't have them, you can pick them up at the store. I use those all the time. I use those on no-shows. I use those on door knocks where I put all the information on there, and then I'll put my number at the bottom. So when I leave and I'm driving to my next appointment, I get a phone call. I look it up in my calendar, who's calling me. Well, I don't answer it. I know they're home, so I'm going to turn back around if it makes sense because I know they're there.
Makes sense.
One other quick thing too, I bring a camping chair, like a folding camping chair in my car.
Genius.
Who's ever been to a door where they're like, you can't, no, I don't want you in. You're like, okay, you got a porch right here. You know? I do you go into a restaurant and you see the hostess and she like takes you to the table and she brings her arm out. I do that at the door. And I'm bringing people outside to their lawn patio or, their patio up front to their chairs. And it's such a weird thing, but people will follow you when you do something like with your arm. I don't know. So I'll bring my chair. Someone's, I don't let anyone inside. Okay, you got a beautiful porch. Let's sit outside. I got a chair. You sit in this one. I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab mine. And I'll go grab mine, come back, and they're just like, what?
You got to name that move, bro. That's the Matador move.
That is so bold. That's bold. I'm
Works.
feeling it.
And you get to sit in your chair, not theirs.
Yeah, I got a little tray on the side, too. I got one of the director chairs. Like, I'm running this thing. Let's go.
That's awesome. That is awesome. All the stuff they've mentioned is in the Alliance store. So if you're like, what are the yellow stickies? Walk your butt to the Alliance store in the corner over there. Get you some stickies while you're here.
Clay, real quick, I want to point something out. The reason we're saying all this stuff, it sounds so basic, right? Here's the deal. We've had agents, not the good ones that we have now in here, but we have had agents that the client is ready to buy. The client wants to pay $100 a month, and the agent didn't bring an application with them. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Like, what? Get your ass to Staples. Go, go, go. You know what I mean? Like, be prepared. That's so huge in what we do.
You don't want to miss a deal. You do not want to miss a deal. All right, I want to cover one more basic thing. And Michelle, maybe you can handle this. Can you talk about the 4 basics that we expect in every single home as managers?
Absolutely. So 1, we are grabbing a check. For new people, we are calling and then grabbing the check, okay? And then if you are not grabbing the check, you need to call. So that's number 1, okay? Number 2, we're gonna get some referrals. That's free leads, y'all. 1 is relationships. That's the speed of trust. We need to get referrals. This is the king of referrals. He got so many trainings on it. Watch it, go back. Referrals. Then there's safe money. So you saw Nexus, you saw Chris Norris. I won't, bam. And then recruiting across the table. There's so many people I see on Facebook that be like, this is my client. She bought a $100 policy. Turns out her daughter's cousin's nephew wants to come do the business with us. I'm like, what? Like, how cool is that? And it gives you so much credibility on what you do. Like, people not only respected what you did for their family, but then they turn around and want to join your business. It's selling itself. So.
And that's how we found a lot of our top producers, right? Look at the Megan Woods of the world. If somebody did not ask Megan, do you want to do this business? We would not have her in our business. Crazy. Thank you. Thank you for covering that. All right, we're going to switch to kind of getting to the door knocking, that sort of thing. And I'm just curious, Mike, do you ever get nervous? You ever get like a little scared or nervous showing up to the door?
Absolutely.
Still to this day, even as Mike Mertes, you get a little nervous?
Getting to the door, every appointment I have, I still have that nervousness in my stomach going to the door.
What do you do? How do you handle that?
Self-talk. I get out of the car. First I always start with a big smile. I don't care if it's a door knock or if it's an appointment. Like, I'm acting as if. Like, paradigm, your mindset. Paradigm, I think, a pair of glasses. Like, how do you see that appointment? How do you see that opportunity, right? So I see it as I already have an appointment set up if it's a door knock. I see it as I'm already sitting down with that family. Like, I see it as I'm taking care of them. I'm getting the apps done. I'm hitting the 4 basics every single home. So when I get out of that car and I grab my backpack and I got my ATM in hand, like, every step I take towards that door, first, like I said, big smile, but every right foot goes down, I go, yes, 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 yes. Some people remember cool moss,
Moss, baby.
cool moss,
baby.
right? So as I'm getting to that door, like I'm already in this yes mode, right? So when I'm knocking on that door, do you want me to get into like body language a little bit?
Yeah, you might as well. Talk about your body language, how you knock, and maybe.
So I'm getting to that door, I go, I'm going, yes, yes, yes.
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 Yes, King.
So I get to that door.
Kate be like, yeah.
I get to that door, and I'm right before I get to it, I put my feet a little bit wide out, a little wider than the shoulder. I read this in a body language book. You put your feet wide, toes out, shoulders back, hands out and up and open. So when I'm knocking on that door, like I'm open and I'm ready. And it's such a weird thing, but the physical side of it, like if you do this at some point today, just when you're standing somewhere, put your feet a little bit wide, toes out, and your shoulders back, you'll start feeling more confident in your shoes. Like you will just feel it. It's a physical side of it. So when I'm knocking on that door and I've got that big smile and I'm going bang, 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 and I'm waiting, and then I go bang, 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 and I'm waiting, and then I do doorbell, and then I look at the window, bang, 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 and then I go back to the door, bang, bang, bang. Like I got this big smile on this entire time, and I'm like still doing that doorbell. And I don't like those ring doorbells. It just gives. That's the last thing I do is that ring doorbell because that gives them an opportunity. They could be sitting on their couch somewhere and and then it's just all starts over, right? But like I do everything else to try to get to that person, but that body language bit, when they answer that door, I'm just like big smile, like I'm ready for whatever that's coming my way. So.
I love that. I love that. Hey, were you saying bang, bang, bang intentionally or?
Absolutely, John Davis. That's right. Let's go.
Well, talk about it
John
because
Davis.
I know you door knock a lot of bang, bang leads. So can you talk about your process knocking a bang, bang or an internet-based lead?
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't print my leads. I don't show anything at the door. So like when I get to that door and that person answers it, I don't have a paper, I don't say, oh, you filled this out. Oh, like, look at this, your name, your information. This is why I'm here. I don't do that. I just literally knock on the door. They answer and I go, hey, my name is Mike. How are you today? And they go, great. I go, hey, I've been trying to get a hold of you at your 708 number. And I know you get a ton of these phone calls all the time that are just super random numbers. And I'm the same way. I never answer any of those, right? So it's about the cash benefit insurance programs for your age. Got a few minutes? Can we sit down? What is it? I'll show you.
That body language, baby.
Mike, you're gangster as hell.
No, seriously.
That's some gangster stuff right there.
Yeah.
Michelle, can you talk about maybe on the direct mail side what you do when it comes to door knocking? Do you do anything different?
Yeah, I print all my leads. I don't know. I am killing trees left and right. I don't know. But I do mine different, and I'm listening to Mike, and I'm thinking, taking notes because I'm not that strategic. Like, I am looking at my lead before I get out the car, like, Richard wants to see me, Richard wants to see me. And then I get to the door, and whichever mood I'm feeling, I am a benefits coordinator, I am a caseworker, I am whatever I am doing, okay? And, like, if you guys feel like, you're not that, it's like, well, I am coordinating benefits. Would y'all agree?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, we are.
Right.
I am a caseworker. I am here to help, really. So I will do whatever. So like the way that I approach it is, I have the lead, and I'll have it out. Yeah, I'm the written ones. I'll have it out, and the way I do it is like I knock. I avoid that ring doorbell like the plague. I will never look at it. If it turns on, I'll be like. But I'm still knocking. But I'll just say like, hey, Olga, I'm Michelle. I'm your benefits coordinator. Hey, I was just up the road right here helping that family, and I saw your car. I figured I'd stop by. Hey, when you have a few minutes? Like, and then if they're like, what is this about? I'm like, yeah, I sent in this form. My key word in everything after I talk is, where can we sit down? And I just look like I want to sit down, like all the time. Like I'll be like, and I go down. I'll be like, where can we sit down? And they're like, oh yeah, come inside. Where can we? You want to sit down right here? You want to sit down? Because I'm not going through it. I'm just not doing it. And so some of y'all be trying to explain it at the door, everything that you do, and it's like, just give it a second. Hit them with the where can we sit down? They're gonna take you to a seat for sure. Right.
That's gold right there. That's a gold nugget.
I'm not a strategic.
That was awesome.
My friend.
We're going to keep on kind of the body language trend, Rojas, and I want you to light them up with maybe some body language tips you have in the house, at the door, getting into the door, things you do that are maybe like subconsciously influencing them.
Yeah, so I love what Mike Mertes said because I kind of do the same thing. I have a mantra before I get out of the car, and this is my mantra. I trust my God and I trust my skills.
That's right.
And that automatically gives me confidence like crazy because it sets me in the right mood that, hey, look, if I do the right thing and if I serve this person, I'm going to get the check. You know what I mean? And so one of the things that I do different from Mike Mertes at the door is I got a height and weight issue. I'm a little wider. So here's a trick for all my big folks. Just turn sideways. See that? I became half the size. So hey, it works, I'm telling you. So when you knock on the door, you do that.
Oh, that's
right?
a good knock. That's a good knock.
After you do that, if you big like me, just go like this. And when they answer, just have some icebreakers. If the community is gorgeous, compliment. Lead with compliments. People like people that compliment, okay? That's the best way to make a friend. And just have an icebreaker. Hey, this community is gorgeous. How long have y'all lived here, right? It's that simple. Ask a question. And then get into just how long have they lived there, right? Like, if the place is not so good and they got frogs on the corner and stuff like that, don't say, hey, this place is gorgeous. This double wide that smells like ammonia is gorgeous. How long have y'all? Don't do that. Be genuine. You know what I'm saying? If the place is in the woods, because we run in, in the country and all that stuff, right? So, if the place is in the woods, don't say, hey, man, this place is gorgeous. How long have y'all been here? Be like, hey, man, this place is pretty, hidden. How did you find this place? I just make sense of it. You know what I mean? People like that. You know what I mean? So those are some little icebreakers that I use. I always try to find out how did that person find that home? How long have they been there? Who led them to the house? You know what I mean? Was it given to them? Was it, inheritance? Was it a realtor? I want to start off a conversation. And within that conversation, I'm trying to give them 2 to 3 compliments within the first 5 minutes.
Beautiful. And I think that's really important. Something that separates people is it seems like y'all have a set or maybe a queue of icebreakers that you have ready. And they might be the same every single time that you're asking. So those are really good. Michelle, do you have some icebreakers or some classic just like intro lines that you're saying when you get in the house?
I really want to be original, y'all, but I just copy everybody else. I really hit them with the, how long y'all been here? Oh, every single time. Every time. That's my starter. Pretty much anything else. So honestly, anything, I think for icebreakers, guys, just try not to make a statement. So if you are gonna compliment, follow it by a question. So I'd say if you're gonna say, oh my gosh, this place is gorgeous, how long y'all been here? If you just say, this place is gorgeous, they say, thanks. What's up? Do you know what I mean? You have to lead them to that next thing. That's the best tip, I think.
Can I add to that real quick? So this is not an icebreaker. Hi, my name is Brian. We have a 1 o'clock appointment.
Oof.
That's not an icebreaker.
No.
Does anybody want to say something about that? Because most people think hey, my name is Brian. We had a 1. What do you mean you don't remember me? We talked yesterday. You don't remember? That's not an icebreaker, y'all. Come up with something more creative.
And it's funny because I say the exact same question at the door, how long you been living here? It's it's literally the easiest thing you can ask any person. How long have you been, recruiting-wise too, same thing. So how long have you been living there? You get to know their history because when you're doing that in the home, that's the easiest thing that someone can answer. It's relatable, and then it starts getting the conversation going. Then you find out the family history, where their kids live, the grandkids live, and it all just brings it back into your presentation. But Brian, that's a really great point on saying like, hey, you don't say, hey, I'm here for our 1 o'clock appointment about life insurance that I talked to you yesterday about on the phone, and you told me you were going to be at this time. It's like, I already have it. I always say like that point, and then also like sales, it's like a joke. Like you don't tell a joke and then tell someone to laugh. You tell a joke and then they laugh. Think about that when you're out the door. You have to be persuasive with them, get them to like you, so they take a step back and open that door up for you to go into their safe spot, their house, their couch, whatever it is you're sitting down with them at, and they have to be able to have that trust with you. And those questions are just like, they get it going.
Yeah, keep on that topic, because that's where we're going next, is kind of as you're into rapport, right? So we're in the house now, we're building rapport, we're building relationship. I'm guessing you're not asking dumb questions. You're asking questions that maybe you know the answer to, or that maybe guide you down a pathway. Can you talk a little bit about that, Mike, like some of those questions?
Yeah, absolutely. So all about family. So, how long you been living here? Great. You have kids, they live around this area. Now, I'm not interrogating them and just doing one-way street. This is a two-way road, right? So I'm feeding the information back to them, even if they're not asking me questions back. Like, I'm giving them the info. So how long you been living here? Oh, you've been here for 20 years. That's amazing. I grew up like southwest suburbs, Chicago, Naperville area. I lived in the city though for like 17 years. And then, last year, my wife and I, found out baby number 2 was coming. So we decided to, pop out to the burbs. But, do you have any grandkids, any kids that live out here in this area? Okay, awesome. I'm one of 5. So, my whole family, my parents live out in the burbs. And, I was the city one, but now I'm out in the burbs. But like, how old's the youngest grandkid? Oh, like 2 years old. Cool. Yeah, I've got a 3.5-year-old son, MJ. He's a fireball, and my daughter Lola, 8 months. And I mean, you know what happens at that age. Like what I'm going through right now, like diapers, bottles, all that craziness.
How do you handle it if they try and turn the tables on you and start asking a bunch about your family, and you feel like you're talking too much?
Well, I'll ask questions back. So anytime I'm getting questions asked to me, I love it, because then we're having a conversation. But at one point of that conversation where I'm hitting those questions, where I'm literally asking those same questions in the home every time, like hometown, family, kids, grandkids, game time. And that's where it's like that tipping point in the conversation where they're kind of looking at you because they don't really know why you're there, right? And you're kind of looking back at them. It's like, who's going to take that first step into what's going to happen here? And I love taking that first step at that point. So my rapport, like 10 minutes tops, maybe. I don't even think I get to 15. But once I get to that point where it's that tipping point, I get right into what I call like my opener. And I'll say, hey, let me explain to you the reason why I'm sitting with you here this morning, John. So what we'll do, we'll get through a little bit of info together. We'll see if any of the programs that we do make sense for you. If they do, we'll see about you getting approved. There's a few different reasons why people sit down with me. What is it, Mike? I'm explaining it to you right now. Let me explain it to you. A few different reasons people sit down with me. Some of the top reasons are, God forbid something happens to you. You get a heart attack, a stroke, you go to the hospital, bills pile up, or simply you just don't wake up tomorrow morning. Someone is going to have that one big bill, right? Yep. Other reasons people sit down with me is when they want to make sure, they're maximizing benefits on their, Medicare plans, or simply just want to make sure you're leaving enough behind when that time comes for you. So let me ask you this question, John. Right now, do you currently have any type of burial or life insurance policy in force today? Open the conver.
And so that's your transition, rapport, to kind of establishing a why and a reason for your existence. Mm-hmm. Michelle, what's like when you've built rapport, you've got a relationship, you've asked all about their family, you kind of have an understanding, what's your transition from like talking junk to talking business?
So if you guys can, like, I want you to like listen to what I'm saying, but if you watch how we sit when we answer the questions and when we're about to talk, that's like really huge. So like if I'm about to transition, I usually try to end on some kind of laugh, like like, and it's a little more it's a little more smooth, but it's I'm coming to a point where my idea is to like scoot up, right? Because it's time to clock in. And so you scoot up, and I usually will have a purse. And I'll laugh, and I'm like, oh my God, Mike, you are so crazy. Let me show you what we had got from you. And then I'm going into my purse. Like, let me show you what we had got from you. Because sometimes I think we treat it like they didn't do it, and we don't know why we're there. It's like they filled something out, so let me show you what we had got from you. And I hit them with 3 similar questions post printed out lead.
Kind of setting the table a little bit.
Yeah.
Brian, what is your transition statement, kind of setting the table for rapport to talking business?
So this is such a good question because, like, I was never a salesperson. I learned here. All right. I mean, I'm talking about when I first started. My first 20 appointments, I didn't sell a single thing. Right. But my second appointment, I actually sold it, but it took me 4 hours. Because I didn't know how to transition. So that's actually something legit, okay? So what I do is, once I'm talking, it's something so simple, right? Can everybody at the count of 3 slap their knees? Like this, okay? Hold up, man. I didn't count. I didn't say 3. Listen, Linda. All right. 1, 2, 3. That's your transition. That's simple, okay? So when you feel that it's the right time, not 4 hours later, a good way to transition is slap your knees and say, hey, look, I loved talking with you. You are funny as all get out, but I got to get going because I have like 30 more people that I got to go see, okay? So let me show you why I'm here. Boom. And I bring the lead out. Same thing, okay? And there, I just show them, hey, look. And right now I'm using Bang Bang leads. That's my primary source. But I write down the 3 main reasons why people want to sit with us, right? And number 1 is, somebody just passed away in their family, and they want to make sure they want to get their affairs in order. That's number 1. Number 2, they already have insurance, but they feel like it's not enough.
Yep.
Okay? And I'm writing this down on the lead.
Yep.
Right? And then number 3, they've already had insurance, but it's been a while since they reviewed it, and they feel like they probably need some more. And I'm saying this to the client because in their head, I'm trial closing them. I'm getting them primed, their mind primed and programmed about what we're going to talk about, okay? So it's like a double-edged sword. I'm explaining, but I'm also priming their mind. Hey, we're going to do one of these 3 today. I'm putting them in the box. It's what I'm doing. And so then I ask a question, which one of these 3 you feel like you relate to the most? And I just let them pick 1, 2, and 3, and they pick 1, 2, or 3. By the way, I must point out, when we first started working out Bang Bang leads, I didn't do any of this. All this stuff was new for me. Thank God for Mike Mertes and Michelle Colin. They helped me out, along with some of our agents in our office. I sucked again, y'all. Like, using the Bang Bang leads, I was one of those guys that, like, I talked to 13 people, and I didn't book a single appointment. One of my downlines agents had to help me. So don't be too prideful. Don't be, you know what I mean? Ask for help continuously, guys, because things are changing fast. You know what I mean? So
that's good, Brian. And something I want to point out that both of y'all talked about was how your body language shifts, and Mike talked about it as well, is how your body language shifts. In the Alliance store, Definitive Book of Body Language, yep. Crazy good book, highly recommend it. It's where a lot of this content's from.
Sorry, I want to say something about that. There's 2 acronyms that I teach in my office all the time. First acronym, it's called FORM, all right? This is about what we're going to talk about: family, occupation, recreation, and message, okay? Out of the 4, family is the most important. That's where you want to stick on, okay? Yeah. And then the second acronym is called SOFTEN. Y'all heard of SOFTEN?
Yep.
S, write this down, all right, if you're new. S stands for smile. This is how you act in the home, right? O, open hand gestures. You don't want to have your hands in your pocket. You don't want to have your hands crossed. F, leaning forward. This is what Michelle was talking about, right? Mm-hmm. So these are all like people skills and body language, right? 90% of communication is nonverbal, yep. Right? T, touch. Like if you're a man and you have a woman appointment, don't be like,
don't do that.
All right. a good way is just clap. I even pump. And then towards the end, once they give me the head, I'm sorry. Once they give me the check. Once they, y'all calm down. Y'all immature. I slipped. So they only get a hug from me if they give me a check. Damn.
You damn right.
So.
E, eye contact, and nod.
Oh yeah,
E,
eye contact, E, and
No.
head nod. I got it. Yeah.
Hey, that's all right.
You want me to get body
Freudian
language?
slip.
You want me to get more into body language?
No, we're going to move on.
Good point. Thanks, Brian.
We're running tight here. All right, so y'all have done a good job setting up body language. You've gotten a fist bump. Let's talk about, like, I know you avoid a lot of objections because you're setting the table with your clients. But let's talk about if you do get those objections. So I want to kind of rapid fire some in-home objections at y'all. So Mike, you're sitting with somebody. How do you avoid or handle, I want to think about it?
No, I absolutely understand that. You know, the insurance carrier has to think about you too. So that's why we put all the information on the paperwork. We do the clicks, we submit that through, and then we get the answer on your approval, and you don't have to start it today. You can choose any day you want within the next 30. So while we're getting the answer, you still have that opportunity to think about it before that first payment drafts. But if you get approved, then you're covered.
Is there anything you do in the appointment to avoid it? Like, I want to think about it.
My opener right in the beginning, you know, if we find something that makes sense for you today, we're going to see about you getting approved. So I set it up as much as possible. I'm front loading a lot of those things like, hey, we're going to get all the information. We're going to put it on the papers. We're going to see about getting your approval today. So, you know, the best way we always know it's like how to handle an objection. It's to address it before.
Yep.
So I think a lot of the stuff in our transitions and the ATM, the way that we handle our conversations up front, like we're kind of putting more ammo in our arsenal before those things even pop up to us. So that's probably why we get those objections, but just not as much anymore, right? Like,
Yeah.
we're usually
I would say
getting
that's
that
a
check.
separating factor of y'all, as you try and address it and avoid it before you get it. Michelle, how do you address the people that want to shop, your shoppers?
I shopped. I shopped for you. But it's like the system is designed, y'all, to get ahead of that. So when you are looking at options, like you're telling them that you're shopping for them, like that you're gonna put them in the system, and it's gonna tell them. I don't know where your companies are, but you know, like we look at this. Where do y'all need to shop at? You know, but you don't say that to them. But it's how do you get that across to them ahead of time? Like, we're gonna figure out where in here you qualify. I'm gonna figure it out. We're gonna be so thorough to make sure that you get the best. How do you pull the best? And they're like, yeah, I think I could find a different best. It doesn't happen. So you have to get ahead of that objection.
Beautiful. Rojas, how do you handle when you're getting to the close and they say, hey, I need to talk to my son, my daughter, my cousin, my uncle?
So it just, for me, it kind of depends on the age. A lot of it depends on the age. The older they are, the bolder I get. There's no such thing as think about it. There's no such thing as, you know, I need to talk to my sons. I'm like, do you talk to your children when you go grocery shopping? Do you talk to your children when you pay the bills? If that's the case, we definitely need to talk to them. But if that's not the case, we need to figure this out now. It's just, we got to be bold, guys. See, here's the problem. You're not bold because you think if you're bold, you're being a salesperson.
Yep.
But in the client's eyes, if you're not bold, you're not caring enough. If you're not bold and you shut up and you don't say the things you actually want to say, you're a salesperson in their eyes.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You got to come with a heart of service. And service includes helping somebody move past their fear. Okay? So you are there as an angel. This is your ministry. They may never get this opportunity again. And by God, you have got to be that person that helps that person do the right decision. What do you think the right decision is? Not help them? Come on.
All right. Now, I want to wrap with this, guys. What is your go-to closing phrase? What's the thing you always say at the end of the appointment when you're getting the check to wrap things up?
So after I show them the 3 quotes and I explain the product, I go, out of these 3, which one do you want to see about getting qualified for?
That's good.
It's that simple. And every time you say that, pretty much.
Pretty much. Sometimes it switches up a little bit, but I've got a few closes. Like I close on an accidental first, and then I close on the main thing right after it. So when I'm selling the accidental, very simple one is, which one fits in the budget? Which one do you want to start with? Which one? And then when I'm doing the main thing, that's usually, hey, out of these 3, which one would you want to see about getting qualified for?
Beautiful, beautiful. Michelle, what is your closing phrase?
Same thing. I just throw in whomever is the reason. So if I'm giving you 3 options, I'd be like, okay, this one is gonna, if you're talking to me, this one is gonna do X for Cassie. This one is gonna do this for Cassie, maybe a little less. This one right here is gonna leave Cassie in the best possible situation. Like I'm just saying the person's name, and I'm like, which one are you leaning the most toward to go ahead and get qualified for?
Beautiful.
And guys, by the way, again, this is copy and steal everything, right? So it's right here. What happens next? We're gonna tell them what we're gonna do. We're gonna get the check, and we're gonna see if we can get them approved. Right here, okay, the 3 options. And if you're bold enough to read the last 2 bullet points, it tells you exactly how to close the deal. It just says it right there, which one of these 3 options fits your family's budget best, to see if we can get you approved. You let them pick whatever option they want, and then just ask them for their driver's license so we can get this going for you. Yep.
Beautiful.
It's that simple. It's right here.
Beautiful. Closing is not accidental, guys. It is intentional. It takes effort. It takes education. It takes reading. It takes leaning into your upline, your manager. But by doing that, by following the system, by following the resources, you will be a closer with the Alliance as well. Please give it up for our closers this evening. Thank you for having us.